Hello. Welcome everyone to this new lecture of data analytics with Excel. In this lecture, we'll be working with something known as tables. We'll be working with a case study we already took in our last lecture, but just know we are learning tables right now, but we'll be learning pivot tables in our next lecture. So there's a continuity that we are following in all the courses, and all of these examples are practical examples. So I won't be explaining you what the entire case study is because it's already been done in the last lecture. For now, we'll start working with tables. As always, I am always excited for teaching you guys. So to create tables, right, all you have to do is go to any particular cell of the entire table. It can be anything. It can be B, D, 17. Let's say my favorite number is B3. I've selected one cell and I'm going to do Control T. T for, let's say, truck. So if I'm going to go with Control T, you can see this is a borderline which Excel created by itself, and Excel is smart enough to understand where exactly do we have all our data. And now we have, my table has headers. So yes, my table is having a lot of headers. So I will go around and click on OK here. And once I click on OK, you can see enough space was given automatically by my tables, right? Now, one more thing that you might want to do is change how this entire table looks like, right? So you can change it to, let's say, black and white. You can change it to green and white. You can change it to, an orange color, any gradation. You can always go down and select. Some of the bad ones are these, which I generally don't like. This looks a little very clean. I would love to work with such data sets which are appealing to eyes. You need to understand what is the theme of, let's say, your visualizations that you are going to create later, and accordingly you can work around. You can create, your own type of, let's say, style. Let's see, new label style. But for now, I will be working with, let's say, my favorite one. Which one was that? Yes, green one. So I will be working with this one. Okay, for you, it might not be an appropriate one. I'll work around with this though. Yeah, this looks good. Or maybe this one. Yeah, this looks perfect. Now you know how to change all of these data types and whatnot. Second thing that you might the further you will notice is these arrows. Now, if you remember, we have already taught you something known as sort and filter. And you can do these directly by clicking on these small arrows which just popped up in front of you. Another thing that you might want to notice is, let's say I'm writing 0 here. I'll repeat that. I just wrote a value next to L, the last column of the entire table. And you can see a new column was created. Excel was smart enough to identify that I have some information to the next cell, right? So if it will identify that we have any information in the next cell, then it will create a new column and it will name it something. So for now, it is column 1. If I'm going to create, let's say, another one by writing, let's say, another random number, it will be column 2. And if you do not want to create these columns, then you can always go to Control Z and you can see the number is still there, the number 4, but the column got erased. And I can do, all the way to 0 and I can say that, okay, this is what I want. But if I'm going to delete and then write it, it's actually going to identify it again. Dhruv is basically my name and that's what I was writing, right? So for now, I'll just delete everything. Other things that you might want to, know in this entire thing. Let's say I am going to, let's say, cell J2, and if I'm going to all the way to the bottom, right, you can see that I can select this entire data set. But let's say if I want to, let's say, write average, you can see the exact value that you were able to add in a particular function has now changed. So you are not getting the average of only one cell or 2 cells or 3 cells. You are getting average of, let's say, the entire outlet sales column, right? This is how the entire thing works. So it is telling me that it is table 1 that we are working with right now. We can change the name again, and then we have okay, under table name, this is a particular column this stands for column, and then the name of the column is outlet sales. It's just like how we actually work with name ranges and name cells. uh, the same way, if we create a table, these name ranges, name cells will be created for us automatically by Excel based on what is the header that we have given to the entire table, or let's say the entire column in the entire table, right? So if I'm going to close it here, I'm going to enter, you can see I can just get it right there. Now the problem that might arise in front of you is if you want to get the average of the first 10 rows only, then you have to maybe select everything like individually, not, let's say, okay, I will give you an example. Sorry, equal to average. Like that, you might have to take the average of the first 10 if you want it, right? But if I'm, let's say, going to get average again of the entire column, then you can see the name will actually change. It will tell me what exactly is happening here. In this lecture, there's nothing much that you need to know, because we have already covered how we actually work with sorting and how we actually work with filtering as well. Another thing that we wanted to notice was actually mentioned by me already, how we can actually use name ranges in this particular thing. Other thing that you might you can see is this thing. When we created tables, right, it took whatever space was required so that these headers are entirely visible, but it will not care about whatever data is visible in these columns. And under supermarket, if I'm double clicking, then and then only you can see that we are able to see everything, and that's why it is necessary for us to actually do this step in tables as well, right? Now this works all the way. So for me, I will actually change this name of the table also, right? This table is actually, let's say, this table is to outlet information. This is outlet information, right? I don't know why it's not showing yet, but whenever we're going to work with it, it will show, right? Yep. I can change the name of the table to yep. Okay, so this is how we can work around with that. And you can work around with something known as, let's say, auto sum. If you have to see at the bottom, if you go to table design, right, you can these are something that we will be working on after this. Table name, I just change the table name. Yep. You can actually write the total row. If you're going to actually create a total row, you can see the total of outlet sales right there, right? You can do the same with others also if you want. You have to just go to let's say table design and do it for yourself, right? That's the only thing. Other than that, there's nothing that much that you can learn in this particular concept. That would be it from my end. I hope you really like the video. If you have any doubts and any quiz, any feedback, you can reach out to me. This Excel file will be available in the description. Thank you for joining.